Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again, bringing you Chapter 6 of my Crysis 2 Super Soldier difficulty video walkthrough. And this level's called Dead Man Walking. And it always makes me think of the Fear Factory song that came as a bonus on the special edition of an album called Digimortal. But it's actually a pretty challenging section, and the reason for this is because you're versing over a couple of ops. A lot of guys, and there's a lot of lines of sight, and when you jump and land, it actually takes away from your energy, so it can make it difficult to do the stuff you want to do. And right there, that was me fucking up a jump and still managing to land on the platform, so be very careful with that. But the luxury of it is, because I didn't land on this part of the roof, they weren't completely aware to my presence, so I could kill them. These cell operator guys. And I took a little break between this video and the last one, and when I came back to try and do the commentary for this one, my computer decided to do a Michael Jackson and it fucking died on me. So I'm hoping that they're going to be as swift as the other ones were, and I can carry on through this and get it uploaded to YouTube as quick as possible, because I don't know, I think this guide's going to do well, because it's a nice game, this is long, and there's some areas that people are probably going to struggle with. And this could possibly be one of them, because when I first did this, it was really messy on my first run through, but this time through, I did it okay. But once you get onto this roof, you are pretty safe, because you'll get your checkpoint there, and then what you have to do now is you have to get across this like connecting bridge. It's like a corridor that connects these two buildings. And you'll notice straight away there's two guys here, but watch what happens when I kill this dude. You see that? That is a 50 cal gunner over there. I think it's a mounted turret that he's using. And what I first did when I got here is there's a sniper rifle that one of these guys drops. And if you haven't used the sniper rifle, yet on Crysis 2, sound like Jimmy then. What happens is it's a really good sniper rifle, and you can take a ton of dudes out, especially if you get a silencer on it. It's one of those weapons that I would almost really tell you to run around with at all times, because it's super good. And when you're coming through here, if you do need to regenerate your stealth, make sure you do it with these shutters. I know it sounds silly, but there are gaps in them, and that dude with the 50 cal will see you, and he will fuck up your day. So once that's done, when you go onto this roof, what you have to do is you have to get some C4 and blow open the doorway that waypoint's pointing at. And the C4 is just to the left of this doorway, and I think there's 2 or 3 guys that patrol this roof. And if you can do this without being... oh god. If you can do this without that happening, you should be okay, but luckily enough, I had pretty decent cover there, and he was shooting over the plant pot, so he couldn't get full target on me, and I somehow managed to survive. But if you can do this rooftop section without too much trouble, and alerting people, you should get through it kind of quickly. Because you come over here, it says, oh, you can't open the door, you need to find an ammo dump, and the ammo dump is just to the left, so it's dead simple. It's just straightforward there.
Alcatraz.
And just keep watching that energy meter, making sure it's not draining too quickly. And then cruise over here, and the weapons cache is just to the left. There you go. So grab the C4, grab the ship, resupply. And C4 is really useful on this game, because I honestly didn't use it at first. I didn't use the rocket launcher either, because I assumed when I picked it up I didn't realise you had to press right to use it, because I'm a real tit like that sometimes. But the C4, when used correctly, can be one of the best weapons on this game. In fact, when you take on the Ceph Brutes, you know, the big armoured dudes with like the Gatling cannon, you can kill one of those with 2 pieces of C4 on Super Soldier. You can literally walk up to them with your armour on, throw both your C4s and detonate them, and still survive, even on the hardest difficulty. But once you've blown that door, you can now sneak down into the building, and the tougher section of this level is now done. And when you get in here, it's another standard stealth section with a couple of dudes. And I think I resort to shooting when I get a bit further in here, because you'll get to a room where there's a couple of dudes and there's a metal detector. And you'll notice me do that a lot as well. Whenever there's a couple of guys, and if they stand still for any long period of time, I generally try and line the shot up so I can get them both with a headshot. And if you don't have the achievement for doing it, you will get an achievement for doing that, so it's definitely worth your time. But there we go. You push that button on the desk. The waypoint points to it, so don't worry about if you're having problems on where to go. The waypoint's pretty good that way. I'm currently looking at if I've got any attachments for that gun, and I hate not being able to silence that Scar weapon, because if you could silence it, it'd be super effective, but I just didn't find the silenced version. I don't even know if there is one, truth be told. Right then, just had to trim out some audio there for the next 30 seconds, because my mum's so good at fucking cooking, she just set the fire alarm off, and it could be picked up on the headphones, and it was loud as balls, so I saved you from that awful noise. But we just ride this elevator down, and we're going to be coming up against an interesting little fight, and also an interesting example of the AI and how they have a priority list on the paths that they should follow. So I can go into a little bit more detail on that. But when you come through here, this is a massive cutscene, so I'm going to trim it. So you talk to him for a bit, you go sit in a suit, you go sit in a chair, sorry, that messes with your suit, and then you get them bloody soldiers come and find you, and there's that general and that woman, and it doesn't make a lot of fucking sense, but it really lasts too long, so I'm trimming it out. And come on, do the trim then. Be kind. So he's asking this dude to help us. I think it's when I sit in the seat that I've trimmed it. And you'll notice whenever you've got your gun against your chest, when you go to aim, it aims super slow, and if you're using the light machine gun, you'll see his hand before you see anything else, and his gun kind of teleports into his hand, and it looks really funny. But there's the cut anyhow. We've been captured by that dickhead. He's knocking my face off as I go down this corridor.
What's the matter, Gould? I'd have thought you'd be happy now the great big evil conspiracies.
And there's just a little bit more exposition now between the woman and Gould.
Jesus, Tara. If your father could see you now.
And when it does this on the hood and it flickers between the the green, the neutral green and the red, it really reminds me of Vanquish's heads-up display, because that was primarily like greeny blue, greeny grey and red for every single thing. And truth be told, I didn't really like the colour scheme in that game as far as the hood went, but it were different I suppose, and this game is very similar when it's doing these moments. But these are the examples of, like, this is all good and well, but you can't skip it. It's like, if you're gonna put a cutscene in engine graphics, you should still make it skippable in my opinion. There's no excuse for that shit. Especially when it's this bloody long. It's like, yeah, this is... I don't know, I can't... It's weird. Weird to me, just weird. Because there are some people that play video games and don't even care about stories. There are some people that play games that don't even realise there is a fucking story. Let alone an option to skip it. Which just goes to show that... I don't know. Strange design choice. And I know that they put all that time and all that effort into making these cutscenes and choreographing them, and, you know, using nice angles with cinematography and directing them and so on and so forth. Once you've seen it once, do you really want to watch it again? I don't know. There we go. An introduction to the machines that release the spores that have created this alien virus there, which is those little tower thing that just got dropped in. And what's going to be happening now is it's kind of weird. Yeah, you drop off the chopper, there's another black screen and another slight cutscene of you standing up, and then you get to control, and it's all, you know, like dystopian and messed up, and these dudes get attacked by the spores, and then the Ceph come. And there's nowhere you have to go at this moment in time. You just have to kill. Well, you might not even have to kill. You could probably sit and hide with your cloak on in a corner. But after a few minutes, you kind of fall to the ground, and it's the end of the level, and it's kind of weird. And I didn't actually think that the next level was the next level, because it doesn't give you the title screen like it's been doing so far. So I assumed it was the second part of Dead Man Walking when it isn't. So I don't know if it's because they forgot to put it in, or as if it's in there somewhere. I just wasn't capturing when it popped up. No idea. Couldn't tell you. But yeah, my laptop is really struggling right now, and I don't know why. It keeps not responding. Fucking piece of shit. This is kind of cool as well, because when you're knocked out, you get to defib yourself. It comes up on the screen saying activate defibrillator. So that's an interesting little touch, but it happens far too frequently for it to have any real effect. But here comes the dropship, here comes the Ceph. And I mean, look at this. It should be skippable. I could trim it out, but this is kind of gameplay as well because you do sit up, so it does give some kind of relevance to what's happening. And I do know the people out there that like to watch the storyline and get all the cutscenes in the video walkthroughs because they probably have no interest in buying the game and they just want to sit down for a few hours and watch something interesting. And I probably should start recording the cutscenes on like a separate playlist where you can just watch the cutscenes or something. But with my upload limits at the moment, that's probably not going to be very practical because I have hell on getting up the game itself, let alone any bloody extras. But here we go. Once you can stand up, I use this part for cover and I just gun the Seth from a distance using armor ability because if they rush you, you're probably going to get killed. If you rush them, you're probably going to end up getting killed. And this cover is perfect because you can crouch behind it, you can let your shield regenerate, you can pop back up, and you can sometimes make the Seth get into a gunfight at long distance with you where they take cover, you take cover, and you have a nice little engagement. And obviously I'm moving forward now with my stealth on because at this moment in time I haven't realised that we don't continue the level. It's just a case of standing around for a bit and trying not to die. And there's a section like this on the Mass Effect 2 Arrival DLC where there's a woman trying to seal a door and you've got to defend her while she does it, and the enemies will keep spawning until you do this thing, and it's really not obvious what you're supposed to do at first. She keeps shouting at you, but you kind of like, what door? She keeps saying like, seal the door, seal the door. It's like, what fucking door? You're supposed to be sealing the door. But if you move back to the waypoint, the screen will go all jivey, you'll fall down and collapse, and it's the end of the level. So once again guys, thanks for watching my guide, I hope it's helping, and you take care now.